Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about the kidney. Regarding kidney, as you already know, it is a derivative of the intermediate cell mass, and it is a mixed type of gland, mainly exocrine and endocrine part is present, and endocrine part is partly functioning. Now, this organ is situated posterior abdominal wall behind the peritoneum. There are two kidneys, that is right and left. In addition to excretory function, it has some endocrine function producing the erythropoietin, renin and hydroxycholecalciferol, that is involving the calcium metabolism. Now regarding the dimension. Length, it is about 11 centimeter. Breadth, it is about, this is the breadth, it is about 6 centimeter. Thickness, it is about 3 centimeter. Okay. Weight in the male, it is about 150 gram. Female, it is about 130 to 135 gram. Now presenting features. It has upper pole, this is the upper pole. Number 2, lower pole, this is the lower pole. Anterior surface, this is the anterior surface in both sides. Posterior surface, this is the posterior surface. Okay, this is the posterior surface. Lateral border, this is the lateral border, and medial border. Now in the exam, either you will be given only one kidney with the attachment at the hilum, or two kidney with the attachment at their hilum, and any other special gland may be attached to this specimen. Here in this specimen we are presenting the both kidney with attachment of the suprarenal gland on right side. Now we are coming to the anatomical position. As it is a bean-shaped organ, you can easily see there is a long axis and there is a transverse axis in this way. Okay, this is the transverse axis and this is the long axis. So long axis is directed downward and laterally. This long axis directed downward and laterally, so that upper pole will be directed upward and medially, and lower pole directed downward and laterally. Transverse axis, this is the transverse axis. This transverse axis is directed backward, that is this direction will be in backward and laterally. Okay, this is the direction of the transverse axis, backward and laterally. So the hilum, this area is known as the hilum. Hilum looks medially and forwards. Understand? So what I have said, that is the long axis directed downward and laterally, transverse axis directed backward and laterally, so that hilum looks forward and medially. Now why such position is seen in cases of kidney? Behind the kidney there is the psoas major muscle and sloping paravertebral gutter on which the kidney lies. So this position occurs in cases of kidney. Now regarding site determination, we have to hold it in anatomical position during exam, as you all know. Now you have to identify the anterior surface and posterior surface first. To identify the anterior surface is more convex. Okay, anterior surface is more convex than the posterior surface. As you can easily see, the posterior surface is flat. Okay, in this side posterior surface also flat. So anterior surface is more convex, and relation of the structure in hilum. This medial border, in the medial border there is a concave area on both sides. This area known as the hilum. Okay. This structure, the structure attached to the hilum, there is a particular relation from anterior to posterior. So you have to correlate with that position, in which position it is, the anatomical position will be. Number one, first you have to identify the structure. If you are given only this kidney, this kidney is absent. First you look this kidney. In this kidney there is, this is the branch of, this is the renal vein, okay, that is terminating into the inferior vena cava. This is the inferior vena cava. As in this specimen the inferior vena cava is present, so I can easily identify this is the renal vein. Next, from anterior to posterior, this is the abdominal aorta. From there the renal artery is entering through the pelvis. So renal vein, behind that there is the renal artery, branches of the renal artery, and on the most posterior plane this is the pelvis of the ureter. Okay, this is the pelvis of the ureter. So from anterior to posterior, V, that is the renal vein, A for artery, and pelvis of the ureter, ureter U. So V, A, U, from anterior to posterior. If this relation satisfies the appearance of the kidney, so this will be the anatomical position considering your upper and lower pole. Now, one major thing you must remember, that this ureter, pelvis of the ureter will hang touching the lower pole. Okay, that is, if only this kidney is given, then this ureter may hang in this way. The true position is this, because vein, artery and ureter, but one may hold it in this way. Okay, so in this position the ureter is coming forward one point, that is not the right method. Number two, ureter is kinking at its attachment at the hilum. So major thing is that from anterior to posterior we will look vein, artery and ureter, pelvis of the ureter, and ureter will hang touching the lower pole of the kidney without kinking. That is the major point, without kinking. So relation of the pelvis is understood. Sometimes a branch of the renal artery may go in front of the vein or behind the ureter. Anterior lip of the, now regarding lip, this is the lip, anterior lip, and this is the posterior lip. Okay, so anterior lip of the hilum is less projecting in comparison to the posterior lip. Okay, this anterior lip will be less projecting in comparison to the posterior lip. Now upper pole and lower pole. Upper pole is more rounded. This is more rounded than the lower pole. Okay, and its distance from the hilum, its distance from the hilum is more than the distance of the lower pole to hilum. So in this way you can identify the anatomical position of the kidney. And I have already told you that medial border is identified by the presence of the hilum. Understand? So whatever I have described, I am repeating again. Number one, long axis is directed downward and laterally. Transverse axis directed backward and laterally, and relation of the hilum you will look. Now, right kidney is slightly lower in comparison to the left kidney. So, when you are holding this position, holding this specimen, you have to hold the left kidney quite upper position, right kidney quite lower position. Okay. Now, what are the coverings? There is the coverings from within outwards are number 1 fibrous capsule, number 2 perinephric fat, number 3 renal fascia, and number 4 paranephric fat. Fibrous capsule, it enters the renal sinus through the hilum. Through this area it enters in the hilum and forms the wall of the sinus and blends with the calyces minor, and it is easily separable from the kidney. Another one is perinephric fat. It also enters through the renal sinus through the hilum and forms around the it also forms a sheath around the vessel. It acts as a shock absorber. Number 3 is renal fascia or false capsule. It is formed by the condensation of the extraperitoneal fat. It is also known as Gerota's fascia. Okay. Another thing is paranephric fat. It consists of fat more at lateral border and lower pole of the kidney. It acts as a packing material. Now, another point you can see in this kidney, on the right kidney, there is presence of the suprarenal gland. This is the suprarenal gland. If suprarenal gland is present on the upper pole, then upper pole you can easily identify. So, in this specimen, as there is right suprarenal gland is present, so what will you describe when the examiner will give you this specimen? Then you have to say, sir or madam, this is a specimen of the both kidney with attachment of the renal vein, artery and ureter at the hilum on the both side, and with the right suprarenal gland on the right kidney, and you have to hold in this position. Okay. And also inferior vena cava, part of the inferior vena cava and descending thoracic aorta, inferior vena cava and abdominal aorta is present. Okay. Now, as you all know, kidney is situated on the posterior abdominal wall in the lumbar region, also extending to the hypochondrium. Left kidney is left kidney is situated more towards the midline. Okay. And as I have said, it is higher in position in comparison to the right kidney. Understand? In the posterior abdominal wall, its long axis, as I have described, is directed downward and laterally, upper pole directed upward and medially, and upper pole extends little above 12th rib on right side and 11th rib on the left side. Lower pole directed downward and laterally, it lies 2.5 centimeter above the highest point of the iliac crest on right side, and at the on the right side at the level of the lower border of the L3 vertebra, but on the left side it lies little above the level of the right kidney. Hilum lies, this hilum, it lies 5 centimeter away from the midline. The main thing, transpyloric plane cuts the upper part of the right hilum. Transpyloric plane cuts the upper part of the right hilum and lower part of the left hilum. Okay. Transpyloric plane, I am again repeating, cuts the upper part of the right hilum and lower part of the left hilum. Now, this is the normal position, whatever I have described. What are the abnormal position? There may be the pelvic kidney. Kidney may be present in the iliac fossa, and both kidney may be present on one side. Okay. Now coming to the relation. What are the relation on the anterior surface and posterior surface? First we are looking the anterior surface. In the anterior surface, whatever the relation, we can divide into two groups. Number one, peritoneal areas. Number two, non-peritoneal areas. On the anterior surface, that is first on the right side, the peritoneal areas are number one, hepatic area. Hepatic area on this area. Okay. This is the hepatic area. And jejunal area, this part is the jejunal area. Okay. So hepatic area and jejunal area, these are the area covered by the peritoneum of the greater sac. On the left side, there is splenic area. Number one, this is the splenic area. Okay, here there is the suprarenal area. So I am describing the first the peritoneal area, splenic area and jejunal area. These two areas are peritoneal. Okay, and these two areas covered by the peritoneum of the greater sac. There is the gastric area. It is also peritoneum, but it is covered by the peritoneum of the lesser sac. Now coming to the non-peritoneal area. In the right kidney, as you can easily see, there is the right suprarenal gland on the upper pole. This is the non-peritoneal area. Now there is the second part of the duodenum. Here there is the second part of the duodenum. Sorry, this part is the second part of the duodenum. And this area is also the non-peritoneal area. Number two, right colic flexure, this area on the lateral part of the lower third of the anterior surface. These are the non-peritoneal area on the right kidney. What are the non-peritoneal area on the left kidney? Left suprarenal gland, as you can see from the right side, left suprarenal gland. Number two, body of the pancreas and splenic vessel in the middle of the kidney. In this area, there is the relation of the pancreas, body of the pancreas. And left colic flexure along the lateral border of the lower two-thirds of the surface. Along this area, there is the left colic flexure. These areas are non-peritoneal. Okay. On the posterior surface, now what are the relation on the posterior surface? In the posterior surface, this is the left kidney, this is the right kidney. On the posterior surface, behind the upper part of the kidney, transverse process of the L1 vertebra, lateral and medial arcuate ligament with diaphragm arising from them, and costodiaphragmatic recess behind the diaphragm. Okay, in the upper part. Also the 12th rib may be related on the right side, and 11th and 12th rib on the left side. Now in the lower part, on the medial to lateral, in the lower part, what we will get? Psoas major muscle and psoas minor muscle with its fascia, quadratus lumborum and transversus abdominis. Psoas major with psoas minor muscle, quadratus lumborum and transversus abdominis with fascia transversalis. These are the three muscles. And there are the nerves and vessels, subcostal vessels, that is the subcostal vein with subcostal artery, subcostal nerve, iliohypogastric nerve, ilioinguinal nerve, and fourth lumbar artery on the right side. Okay, lower part, fourth lumbar artery we can get. Now coming to the medial border. In the medial border, its upper and lower part are convex, as you can easily see. Upper part and lower part is the convex, and middle part is the concave, that part is known as the hilum. Now lateral border. On the right kidney, if you remember the anterior relation, in the upper part we have described that this area is the related to the hepatic area. So on the right kidney it will be related to the right lobe of the liver. On the left kidney, upper part is related to the spleen. Okay, this part is related to the spleen, and lower part is related to the descending colon, this part. There is a term that is known as the kidney angle or renal angle. It is the angle between the 12th rib and lateral border of the erector spinae muscle. This angle represents the point of maximum tenderness in kidney disease. Now, we are coming to the description of the hilum. Hilum is a comma-shaped, length is about 2.5 centimeter. It is situated 5 centimeter away from the midline. As I have already said, that is the transpyloric plane cuts the lower part of the left hilum and upper part of the right hilum. Now structure passing through it. Number one, we can divide going in and coming out. These two type of structure. Number structure going in, branches of the renal artery. Okay. Branches of the renal artery that will enter through this area. Number two, sympathetic plexus of and capsule and perinephric fat. Structures coming out, tributaries of the renal vein, lymph vessels, pelvis of the ureter. These are the structure passing through hilum, that is the going in and coming out. Understand? Now, these are about the relation and general description of the kidney. Now, this renal artery, when entering through the hilum, it divides into 6 to 8 branches on entering through the hilum. Each branches again divide 6 to 8 lower arteries, and each lobar artery divides into several interlobar arteries. These are the division, and when interlobar artery going interior of the kidney, there is formation of the arciform arteries, and from there the interlobular artery and arteriole recti, these branches arises. Now there is a Brodel line termed as Brodel line. It is a whitish line situated a little behind and parallel to the lateral border of the kidney, little behind and parallel to the lateral border of the kidney. It represents lateral margin of an avascular plane within the kidney lying between the anterior and posterior side of the renal arteries. In operation, if kidney can be cut through this plane, there will be least damage to the arteries. Okay. Now, there is a term called the renal segment. According to the renal vascularization, kidney consists of 5 segments: apical, upper, lower, middle and posterior. Okay. Now, we will show you the interior of the kidney, that is the cut section of the kidney. This kidney is cut longitudinally. Okay. And when we open this kidney, when it is not cut, that is intact, this is the hilum, this is the upper pole, this is the lower pole. Okay. So when I am cutting this kidney longitudinally, there is you can see within the interior there is some parts. Number one, external surface. This is the external part. This is the external part. This area is known as the cortex. Okay. Number two is internal substance, that is this internal substance, these are known as the medulla. Okay. In this area you can see this area. Medulla consists of 8 to 18 conical segments called the renal pyramids. These are the renal pyramids. This is one renal pyramid, this is another renal pyramids. These are the 8 to 18 renal pyramids. The base of the pyramids projects towards the surface of the kidney. If this is the one renal pyramid, the base is projected to the surface of the kidney. Their apex area or apices called the renal papillae. So, renal papillae contains the 15 to 16 ducts of Bellini, opens through it and project into the calyces minor. This surface of the renal papillae perforated by these ducts called the area cribrosa. Okay. Now, cortex. Cortex consists of two parts, an outer part towards the capsule, this outer part towards the capsule. Number two, inner part near the medulla called the inner part, this area near the medulla called the juxtamedullary cortex. Outer part towards the capsule and inner part in related to the medulla, that is known as the juxtamedullary cortex. Cortex lying between the two adjacent pyramids called the renal column. This is the one renal pyramid, this is the one renal pyramid. Between them, this area, this part of the cortex that is situated between the two renal pyramid is known as the renal column. Cortex over the base of the pyramids is called the cortical arch. This is the base of the pyramid, this is the apex of the pyramid. So, cortex over the base of the pyramid is known as the cortical arch. The renal lobe, renal pyramid together with the cortex. Renal lobe is known as the renal pyramid together with the cortex between it and fibrous capsule. This area total known as the renal lobe. Okay. Now, these are about the outer part of the section of the kidney. Now, in the medial aspect, there is the space in this area. This space is known as the renal sinus. Anteriorly, this renal sinus, anteriorly it is bounded by the thick anterior lip, posteriorly thinner lip. Okay. In the posterior part there is the thinner lip, and laterally apex of the renal pyramid, So, this area is known as the renal sinus. Medially, it opens into the abdomen by a space called the hilum. Through this area it is opening, you can easily see. So, this area is the hilum. Here you can get the capsule, number 1, number 2, perinephric fat, number 3, lobar and interlobar branches of the renal vein, lymph vessel and pelvis of the ureter. These are the structure you may get within the renal sinuses. Okay. So, This is all about the general features and anterior and posterior relation of the kidney. The development, anomaly and applied importance, nerve supply, this will be described in another separate class. Okay, thank you.